Hi, everyone. I'm Ken Kirschbaumer, SVG Editorial Director, and welcome to the Acquisition Tech Tour. We have four great presentations from Canon, Fujinon, Grass Valley, and Sony. Obviously, acquisition lenses and cameras is where a lot of the sports production, the electricity, the excitement begins. So with that said, we're going to get into our presentations, but before that, I have a quick conversation with Jason Cohen, who is the CBS Sports VP of Remote Technical Operations. Please welcome Jason Cohen. Jason, so great to see you as always. Thanks for joining us for today's tech tour on acquisition gear. We're talking cameras and lenses. We've got Fujinon and Canon taking part, as well as Grass Valley and Sony. Obviously, cameras and lenses are where a lot of this stuff starts as far as your production. So in general, let's start with lenses. What's your sense on, what do you guys look for in lenses? Are you happy with the direction what they're going as far as 4K and bringing out the true HDR? What's your sense on the lens marketplace right now?
Yeah, I'm very happy. I think we made our most significant strides probably at the end of last year, early this year, when you start to see, some of the advancements from Canon, especially with where they were going with lenses like the 111s and the 122s. I know Fuji's got a new one on the market as well. I think that what you're starting to witness as far as the manufacturers recognizing that if we can gain, even more focus and depth and get in tighter with some of these long glass lenses, with higher back ends, that's the direction we're going to want to go in. And so, last year in the playoffs, you really start to see, I think a lot of the networks quickly try to gobble up some of those 122s that were just coming out, which meant like the 111s were becoming the base. And now the 122s were the ones where you had a couple sprinkled into the show, where if you think about it in the past, right, like if you get your hands like on a 95 by or 101, that used to be your long glass. And everything else was peppered with 86s. And so now you kind of see the next evolution where like everything is ubiquitous with 111s across the board, and the 122s become the golden standard. The other thing that we took advantage this past fall on a couple of shows in golf and football, and I'm safe to say that I hope we'll see it at the Super Bowl, is Canon's new 20 by as well, which our handhelds just absolutely gushed over. And, it's nothing better than watching camera operators fight over, the one prototype lens that comes to a compound. But that 20 by as well, with their back, also, I think is going to be probably one of the more popular handheld lenses you'll see networks using.
Excellent. And then, so as far as cameras, Jason, obviously there's the handheld cameras and there's the box cam and, the box lenses and the hard cameras. Walk through, what you're seeing in those two areas, but also just in general, the use of the robotics and the sort of these little, I don't want to call them gimmicky cameras, but there's a lot of specialty cameras that are becoming part and parcel of your shows now too.
Right. So obviously, we use a lot of Sony camera technology, so we're obviously migrating from a lot of, 2500s and 4300s to 3500s and 5500s. Certainly we use a good amount of 4800s in our planning for the 4K pan and scan. But to your point, it's the specialty camera equipment that I think is becoming more prevalent today, mainly because of where we are right now with the society and what we're dealing with. We're trying to even further figure out ways to cover action without personnel in crowded spaces and being mindful of all the different COVID protocols, right? So we're using, booth robos where there could be Panasonic 130s or they're even just P1s on robo heads. Basketball, we, for the month of December, said at CBS, we're not even going to put camera operators on the floor. So we're doing below the rim robos for all of basketball, as well as, mid-court robos where we can, to replace handhelds. So there's always been a propensity to, I think, try to add these specialty gimmick cameras where we can, but now they're not just gimmicky kind of just fun toys. They're almost essential cameras based on each network's level of comfort as to where they want to put bodies close to the action. Right. And then on top of that, I think that, what I find interesting is that I think the networks still have been able to find a way to add their high level of camera enhancement technology, even during this COVID crisis, right? You still have line to gains. You still have, multiple sky cams. We used a fly cam in golf. We used a trolley cam in NFL a couple weeks ago. There's still a lot of different types of robos being deployed, even though you see networks scrambling with, the COVID protocols, reduced bodies on site, more mobile units, more health and safety. But I don't think it's deterred too much from those specialty camera equipment as well.
Yeah, it's been very counterintuitive. I mean, I would have figured that, the camera complements would have been scaled back, but you've been really taking advantage of the no fans in the galleries kind of situations and in the stands and introducing some new angles, which is
well, that's what it, and that's why I think it's counterintuitive. Is I think if you dropped onto the planet, right, and you haven't been here for the last year, and you said, "What's going on these days?" You would have said, "Well, there's no way networks are doing fun, crazy, cool cameras because everyone's just scrambling to get 5 cameras on the air."
Right.
To your point, we all recognize that there are opportunities right now with no fans in the stands. And trust me, right, we want the energy back. We want the fans back in the stadium.
Right.
But while they're not there, I do think that everyone's taking advantage of, well, what if we put a camera in the operational zone at NFL stadiums, or it's referred to as the moat, as a robo or a rail cam or a dolly cam, or, you're starting to find networks really thinking out of the box as to what you can do with no fans in the stadium. And what'll be interesting is when you marry them back together, right? When fans do return, which hopefully is soon, there's going to be camera angles that we've really appreciated. And how do you get to retain those with a fan presence will be, part of the next discussion, I guess, 12 months from now in the next year's panel.
Exactly. Excellent. Well, thanks, Jason, so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Stay safe and see you soon.
Hello, I'm Josh Stoner, Senior Product Specialist at Canon USA, and I'm here to talk to you about the new UHD XS lens from Canon, the CJ20 EX5B. The new CJ20 is a mid-range lens that fits between our 4 UHD XS lenses that are strong on the telephoto side and 2 that have outstanding wide angles. The CJ20 is a do-it-all lens that extends the wide and telephoto ends into a single, multi-purpose lens that can capture the wide shots that set the scene, then zoom in tight to catch action shots and pull back wide again during those key moments. The CJ20 has an impressive 5mm wide angle, increasing the field of view approximately 10% over other lenses in this class. And because it has the optical excellence that Canon is known for, the CJ20 delivers stunning 4K imagery edge to edge across the entire focal range from the 5mm wide angle all the way to 200mm with the built-in 2x extender engaged. The CJ20 represents the best of Canon's rich history of optical engineering. Advanced optical design such as multi-group lens subsystems for zooming and the use of aspheric lens coatings in strategic locations within the lens optical system helps to ensure 4K imagery across the entire image plane while chromatic aberrations are severely curtailed. Canon's high-resolution 16-bit absolute encoders support lens integration into precision virtual systems at power on with no initialization. 3 standard 20-pin connectors support full servo control using standard zoom and focus controllers while also integrating into these virtual systems. The new CJ20 gives you the flexibility to go both wide and tight with one lens, allowing you to catch the action without missing a shot. Now, to tell you what's new on the camera side, here's my colleague, Ryan Snyder.
Thanks, Josh. Hi, I'm Ryan Snyder with Canon USA, and today I'm going to talk to you about an exciting new large sensor camera, the EOS C70. The C70 features the same dual gain output Super 35 sensor used in the C300 Mark III, but with an entirely new body design. The camera is extremely small and lightweight, and incorporates high-end features necessary for professional productions, whether that's creative, pre-recorded content, or live broadcast applications. You can record everything from 720 up to 4K on the dual SD cards, with an amazing total dynamic range of 16+ stops. High-quality XFAVC recordings are possible in 10-bit 422 with frame rates up to 120 in 4K and 180 in HD. The C70 features our new RF lens mount, which is extremely advanced and provides versatility in lens choices. The RF mount was designed for Canon's mirrorless system, enabling new features and lens designs that were not possible with the traditional EF mount. Reducing the flange focal distance from 44mm on the EF mount to 20mm on the RF mount allows our engineers more options in how the lenses are built. This not only makes it possible to make smaller and lighter lenses, but also innovative and impressively spec'd lenses that have never existed before, like our RF 28-70 f2L series. Not only can you now use these amazing new RF lenses natively, but with simple adapters, the entire line of EF lenses can be used. Canon also developed a brand new EF to RF 0.71x adapter that will make your existing EF lenses one stop faster and project a full frame angle of view on the Super 35 sensor. This gives new added value to classic EF lenses like our 24-105 f4 with image stabilization, which becomes an f2.8 when using this adapter. The camera features professional inputs and outputs, including a full-size HDMI port, BNC timecode, 2 mini XLR inputs with phantom power, and a remote port enabling control and shading with our RC V100 controller. A USB-C connector allows a Wi-Fi or Ethernet adapter to be connected, and with our browser remote feature, you can access the camera settings and view the live video from anywhere with a standard remote desktop application. Canon's dual-pixel CMOS autofocus has earned a reputation for autofocus you can rely on, and the C70 improves on that feature by incorporating ITR AFX, a deep learning technology that dramatically improves face detection and head tracking. That's it for me today. Thanks for your time. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us directly through your account manager. We are very excited for you to try these new products, as we are confident that they'll be a great fit for your productions.
"2020 has been a strange and tumultuous year, but it hasn't slowed us down here at Fujinon. From new additions to our expansive lineup of 4K lenses to innovative technologies that provide broadcast professionals with more convenient options and better performing results, we're pushing the boundaries of not only what can be done, but how to do it best. Before we get started, here's a list of your local Fujinon reps, so feel free to jot down the information of the person who handles your region in case you have any follow-up questions or requests. We'll show this again at the end. Between our E&G and box lenses, we're now up to 15 models of 4K lens. What we're probably most excited about, and what's really got the industry buzzing, is our advanced focus system, the first of its kind in a 4K lens. We've installed this AF technology in our UA 107x lens, and I'm going to let veteran camera operator Danny Zemenek tell you more about that now.
With the advances in technology, 4K, 8K, focus is going to be very, very important. I'm Danny Zemenek, and I'm a freelance camera operator for the last 40 years, and I've worked Super Bowls, Olympics, network shows. Focusing TV cameras was never really easy. You got to walk behind the viewfinder as it's moving to get critical focus on a tight shot. So we tend to zoom out. With advanced focus, you'll be able to zoom in and stay with that tight shot. Now we're talking about super slow-mo in 4K. You know, being out of focus is not an option. And now I want to be able to control every aspect of what part of the screen is focused, when it's focused, do I turn it on, do I turn it off? I'm looking forward to being able to manage the system. The ability to focus on an object, even though something passes in front of it, is a real advance for Fujinon to bring that as a feature. And this is a major step for advanced focus systems. I think that advanced focus is a great idea from Fujinon. Be confident that you're going to be in focus.
Danny's enthusiasm for the AF technology is a good indicator of how it's being received industry-wide. If your production could make use of this valuable technology, please reach out to your Fujinon rep to schedule a test today. Modern cameras can see focus errors that used to be invisible, so Fujifilm's been working very closely with camera manufacturers as we continue to develop new features. For example, after deploying the flange focus system in the 4K lenses to correct tiny focus errors, the remote back focus functionality was made possible. In many camera placements, it can be difficult to execute back focus the traditional way. Remote back focus brings that process back to the control room, where the video op or engineer can do it with their high-res monitor in a controlled lighting environment and really get that back focus locked in. You can see here the back focus function is now in the menu of your remote control panel, allowing the video op to easily execute the full calibration of the lens. We've also introduced a new system called ARIA, also known as Automatic Restoration of Illumination Attenuation. As we know, to get the necessary telephoto ranges in a manageable size lens, there's f-stop ramping, meaning the exposure rolls off as you zoom into the tele end. ARIA communicates with the camera, adding the appropriate amount of gain, resulting in consistent exposure levels throughout the zoom range. It's very customizable though, so you have full control over how much gain is added. This feature is available in 7 of our 15 4K broadcast lenses. ARIA also eliminates relative illumination, a result of all lenses being slightly brighter in their sweet spot at the center of the image. With ARIA turned on, the lens communicates with the camera, providing relative illumination data throughout the range of the lens. That corrects the corner shading, giving the picture a consistent, flat illumination from center to the edge of the image. The UA125 is our new long lens. In fact, it's the longest and widest 4K lens for UHD applications. It maintains the world's highest zoom ratio of 125 times with a class-leading 8mm wide end. This lens was designed for unparalleled 4K performance imaging from today's new 4K 2/3 inch cameras, including an amazing new stabilization system, as well as a new amplifier board that gives you all kinds of customizability under the hood. As we continue to push the envelope and look to how we can help make production more viable in the future, our goal is to continue producing lenses with the very best optical quality that give you the ability to keep focus as precise as possible, offer maximum versatility, the best usability, and unparalleled customer service. The Fujinon team is here for you wherever you are in the world.
The LDX100 is our new native IP camera platform with 3 times UHD high speed, perfectly answering the needs of live sports production. Direct IP connectivity allows for simple connection and discovery of audio, video, and control, as well as superior PTP timing using open IP standards. You get redundant signals that come straight from the camera body, requiring no base station, and giving you at a glance operational status and enhanced ergonomics that deliver high performance in the field.
Grass Valley is known for introducing new camera technology. I'm joined now by Ronnie Van Giel from the Camera Product Unit. First of all, congratulations on shipping the first LDX100 cameras.
Thank you, Nikki. Our customers have responded incredibly well to the LDX100. The images, which we proudly design ourselves, capture stunning images all the way up to triple speed UHD.
The LDX100 boasts something called native IP. Is that different from the direct IP we're used to?
Grass Valley's direct IP remote technology is widely used to connect the camera head to a base station over a standard IP link. It provides the flexibility of IP routing while still interfacing baseband signals from the ECU. This makes it very easy to make the first steps towards the flexibility of IP. With native IP, the LDX100 itself is the flexible IP node. It connects the camera directly to a network without the separate base station. This means more efficient use of bandwidth, faster workflows, and more flexibility with fewer components. And then Alma MOS makes open standard-based Essence streams immediately accessible to any authorized device. Not just audio and video streams, but also tele-information, audio levels, control, and status using industry standard integration. Of course, this all can be easily orchestrated with GV Orbit. And since the LDX100 is backwards compatible to an ECU as well, you can transition from baseband to native IP at your own pace and make it really easy to switch between baseband and IP.
A camera control system still is very much linked to a base unit, isn't it?
Well, not anymore. Our unique creative grading control solution makes shading any LDX camera a very intuitive process. It puts the shader in full control under all challenging live conditions. And it's also an IP native, so the shaders can control cameras anywhere in the world from the same location. Native IP and creative grading make distributed collaboration a functional model. Every member of the creative team can gain non-conflicting access to the sources they need wherever they work.
Hi, my name is Rob Willix and welcome to SVG's Summit Connect. I appreciate the opportunity to give you a brief overview of Sony's imaging tools and new additions to our camera family. The foundations of our imaging tools are as follows. Innovation is more than just picture quality. It's offering useful and valuable tools to enhance both the user and the viewer experience. A new cost-effective replay system, our new IP connectivity, HDR workflows, and HDR metadata are great examples of this. We have fully transitioned to Sony-designed and manufactured CMOS imagers in all of our studio cameras. We are proud of our development of the world's first 4K 2/3 inch global shutter imager that is used in our mainstream 3000 and 5000 series cameras. All our cameras have HDR capability. We take a no-compromise path and use 3 imagers on a prism designed for live television instead of other approaches that might be lower cost, but in our estimation cannot offer the picture quality you need to be competitive. Of course, our top priority is making great images that'll be competitive for years. We also want to offer the production team every tool available while keeping the platform open to our legacy equipment. We are creating more tools for remote operations, such as remote backfocus and our new IP adapters. We also have clearly defined upgrade paths that can add IP, 4x and 8x HFR, and of course 4K to our camera systems. Our cameras can also be configured via software to add permanent or temporary capabilities to suit a production or a customer's budget. We have developed a comprehensive set of IP workflows. The just deployed IP HDCE TX30 transmission system brings both our current and our legacy HD cameras into the IP REMI era. The unit can be located either at the camera head or act like a CCU in the OB. Instead of being just a new camera, the adapter easily interfaces with our latest generation HDC 2000 and our new HDC 3000 system in an SD2110 network. We've put full SDI and IP outputs on the TX30. This allows you to see video, fire up a camera, and begin setup immediately in IP or SDI. We can add remote control panels directly to the unit or have a network control. In direct mode, the adapter acts just like a small CCU. In paired mode, the IP signals are fed to a CCU that is integrated into an existing SDI infrastructure. At IBC, we introduced a low-cost software package that enables the HDC 3500, 5500, and the P50 POV camera to have 4x supermotion capability. This $8,000 software package with the HDC 3500 allows us to create a very high quality but our most cost-effective supermotion system ever. And you will be able to use this capability over the TX30 IP system I just described. The HDC 5500, which has 8x HFR over SDI, now can have 6x over IP. All the control units have optional ST21 output capability. This July, we introduced a new cost-effective HD POV system, the HDC P31. This camera retires the ubiquitous HDC P1. We've added a global shutter imager that is very sensitive, yet virtually noise-free. Remote access is enabled via Web UI. The camera also has several new features, such as remote backfocus adjustment and area lens compensation, and of course, an efficient HDR workflow. Finally, we've introduced new RCPs and MSU panels to add capability to our latest and our legacy cameras. The panels utilize 1000 base T and have more memory and more assignable functions. We also released a new, refined version of our GUI software-based master control unit. It enables quick camera setup and adjustment of all the new features. The leading mobile, rental, network, and sports venues purchase our system cameras. These customers produce some of the most challenging and highest rated events, and they trust Sony with that responsibility. We provide cameras with a lot of acronyms, but what is most important is that we make really great images, and the cameras are competitive and will offer years of service. If you're unfamiliar with our lineup or think it's time for your upgrade, please visit our website at pro.sony.
And that concludes today's Tech Tour on Acquisition. Thanks again to Jason Cohen for his time, as well as Canon, Fujifilm, Grass Valley, and Sony. Please be sure to check out all the other tech tours, and we look forward to seeing you somewhere in the real world in 2021. Have a great holiday season, stay safe, and see you all soon.